summary. So how do you use your cell phone or a recording device to write a summary? I'm working on that one. It'll be fun. I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
Good to go? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Do we have anybody online?
Not yet.
Not yet. Great. And then you can also, we're now linking them on Google Hangouts. So you can attend at home with the boys. Just turn the,
Okay, because I was just thinking, like, I'm not 100% sure if I have a sitter tomorrow, but this is clever.
Yes. So Google Hangouts, my favorite way to get groups together. You can just send out a link and as many people.
So I can sit in my dorm and do it if it's too cold for me to come.
Yes. Yeah, you can now. So this is, we now have a static link. Google Hangout has made it so that you can choose one room and you can always open that room back up. And it's recordable and everything.
So tomorrow I could just do it online and that would still work.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Technology.
I like it.
I don't know why. There we go. The understanding assignments workshop today is going to be a little bit shorter than in content-wise than the others, but it's a really important skill in order to know how to meet the expectations of your instructors. Now, we try to do everything to meet all the expectations that we will be outlining in the assignment sheets that we write, but for other classes, sometimes you don't get all of that level of detail. So part of this workshop will be part of the purpose of this workshop is to give you the language and to help you practice being able to ask what your instructor, what it is that you need in order to be able to meet the expectations of an assignment. We will talk about the purpose of an assignment sheet and what to expect from an assignment sheet, then do a guided practice and an artifact-based practice. And if you did not bring an assignment sheet today, I have the Project 1 assignment sheets, which are not online yet. So you would get to see it before everybody else gets to see it. Purpose of an assignment sheet. An assignment sheet is a contract that the instructor says, I need you to do this. And so by you saying, I'm going to be in this course, I'm going to do these assignments, you're saying, I'm going to fulfill this contract. And you want to make sure that that contract is complete, that you have all the information that you need in order to be able to fulfill the contract that you're saying that you'll do. It provides you guidance on what to do in your assignment, how to walk through the steps of the assignment in order to meet the expectations. It should also, very importantly, state the purpose and learning outcomes. When you're in a class, oftentimes you say, why? Why am I learning this? If I'm in a class on rhetoric, why does this and how does this assignment make me be a better writer? What skills am I going to take from this assignment to become a better writer? What am I supposed to be learning here? Or what am I supposed to learn with this history paper? If I'm writing this history paper, how does this fit into this particular course? What is it that I'm supposed to be learning? So we want to outline the learning objectives and then give the purpose to tell students why we are learning what we're learning, why we're doing what we're doing. You should expect to see all of these things on an assignment sheet. And if you can't see it, we could move forward. It's kind of small, I think. The purpose of the assignment. So like I said, what are you learning from this assignment? The purpose, and then the learning goals. What should you be learning from this? Topic. What is this about? What will you be looking at? What are you reading? What are you writing about? If not a specific topic, at least parameters for what types of topics should you be looking at. Hey, can I help you?
Is this the workshop?
It is. Come on in. We just got started.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay. And then the genre. A lot of people don't like to use the word genre, but I'm using it here to give you an idea that we need to know if we're supposed to be writing a summary, an informative paper, an argumentative paper, which informative and argumentative are very different. Are you informing your audience? Are you trying to state a point? Is it an analysis? Is it a business proposal? What is it that you are trying to write? What overall genre format should you be following? And then the task. What is it that you are supposed to be doing? What is the task that you are to complete? The topic, genre, and task, those together are the actual assignment, what you are doing, what should be contained within the paper content-wise. And if you don't understand that, then having all of these other parts of the assignment sheet doesn't make sense. You need to know exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. And then we should have the scope. Scope means how many pages should you have, or a page range? What are your word count limitations? That's one thing that we really need. We should ask about if we're not given it. How many sources should we be using? What types of sources are we allowed to use, or should we be using? How old can the sources be? Sometimes that's a limit that instructors might give us. Your sources have to be within the last 3 years, within the last 7 years. What are those parameters that I have on the sources that I can use? Formatting guidelines, APA, MLA, CSE, Chicago. There are a number of formatting guidelines. APA is usually used in the social sciences, MLA in the humanities, CSE is used in the sciences, Chicago often shows up in history and in journalism. So what formatting guidelines are you supposed to follow? It's really important to understand which ones your instructor wants from you. And the formatting guidelines will dictate whether or not you have a title page, what margins to use, what header you should have. It tells you how to do your in-text citations and how to write the works cited or references page at the end. Depending on these guidelines, which formatting guidelines your instructor wants you to follow, makes a huge difference in how the paper physically looks. So it's important to know what those guidelines are. It should have information regarding process if applicable. Some instructors want an outline, or they want pre-writing of some sort. They might want you to peer review. They might be asking for multiple drafts. So you need to have that information on the assignment sheet if it's applicable. Due dates. Due dates are very important. They should be on an assignment sheet. Evaluation procedure. This is how are you being graded or evaluated? What is the instructor going to be looking at in your writing? And then any resources if they're available. Instructor office hours, writing center, workshops, what resources are available for you to use? Any questions about what we should be expecting from an assignment sheet? It's a lot, right? Have any of you ever gotten a one-sentence assignment sheet? A one-sentence description? No? I definitely have. Write a proposal for a new business, or write a proposal for whatever it is. One sentence. And that doesn't tell us very much, does it? We want to have an assignment sheet that has all of these things. So I've gone over the purpose of an assignment sheet and what to expect from an assignment sheet. Now I'm going to guide you through how to read an assignment sheet. This is taken from the 1101 overview for the projects. This is not an assignment sheet, but let's pretend that this is all you were given. This was given as an overview, but sometimes this might be what you're given as an assignment sheet. I'll read it. Project 1, Multimodal Discourse Analysis. For this project, you will choose a TED Talks video to analyze. Your goal is to write an essay that analyzes the rhetorical and discursive devices that the speaker uses to present a message, a thesis for a specific purpose. You will submit an inventory of the rhetorical and discursive elements in the video, approximately 1,250 word analysis, and a self-assessment of your analysis. So let's look at this. Kind of keep this in mind. We'll go back and forth. What is it missing? A lot. What are some of those things?
The due date.
Okay, due date's missing.
The purpose.
Purpose of the assignment.
The
Formatting guidelines.
resources.
Any resources, if applicable, yeah.
Scope.
Has 1,250 words, so we have that. But it's missing a lot. Does it tell us how it will be evaluated? No, it doesn't tell us what format to use. It doesn't tell us what resources. It doesn't tell us due dates or if we're going to have rough drafts. And we know this is an English course, a writing course, so we assume there'll be rough drafts, but it doesn't have that information. This is just an overview, something that's given to students in my class at the beginning of the semester to tell you what's to come. This is not an assignment sheet. This just gives you an idea of what you're going to be doing, but it's not enough information to really tell you what you'll be doing. And this turned out really small. So this is the assignment sheet for the summary, and I will kind of go through it and tell you what's on here and tell me if you think anything's missing. This is like I said, the summary. Write a summary of the assigned text in 240 to 260 words. In one separate paragraph, summarize the text. Use no fewer than 6 sentences. Do not exceed 260 words. Proofread your writing to eliminate grammatical and mechanical errors. Use MLA documentation style and format. There's more information about that. When submitting your final draft, attach the self-assessment rubric where you have assessed your own writing and provided justifications. Your summary will be assessed using 4 rubrics: grammar mechanics, evidence, style, and measurable demonstration of a summary. Your summary will receive an incomplete if it does not do these things, does not fall between 240 to 260 words, is briefer than 6 sentences, exceeds 1 paragraph, does not meet MLA format. And then there's a paragraph that talks about posting your rough draft to the wiki. There's a paragraph about how to post your final draft. It talks about revision and says that you're working towards the expert or expertise badge. How about this assignment sheet? How does that differ from that? It's a lot more in depth. Is it missing anything?
Due date?
Oh, it does say, sorry, no later than Thursday at 11:59, Sunday 11:59. So the due dates are on there. It is missing one thing that I know that it's missing, is the purpose of the assignment. So what's the purpose of a summary? And that I'm actually going to put in an announcement versus putting on the assignment sheet. So if it's not on the assignment sheet, sometimes instructors teach this outside of the assignment sheet in some way. Since we do 6 summaries in 1101 and 1143, the teaching of why we do summary and what the purpose of summary is done usually outside of the actual summary assignment sheet. I could put it on there. It would make it more than a page long. I was trying to stick to a single page. Any questions about what to expect in an assignment sheet? Did anybody bring an assignment sheet from a class with them? This workshop is actually almost over. So if you missed it this time, it's halfway through the 30-minute block. But we have another one at 12 on rhetorical reading notes if you want to come to that one.
12?
At 12.
For 1?
You mean 1. Or at 1, sorry.
Okay.
At 1. The next one. Which class were you doing?
Untitled 43.
So you're David's and you're
Davis.
David's as well? Awesome.
I'm in yours.
1101.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're in mine, you're 1101, and you're in David's 1143. This is project 1 for 1101, but it still goes through, David's are formatted very similarly. So what I would like you to do is, with your table, just go ahead and discuss the parts, what is on here. This should have everything. Why does this have everything? And then we'll discuss, if it doesn't have something, how do we ask for that piece of information from our instructor? So kind of go through it and talk about that.
It tells you why we're different, how to expand how you understand. It tells you what you think. Tells you
Okay, now as a group, each group, think of a part where this might be vague or where you might say, I'm not quite sure, and then formulate a question that you could ask an instructor about that.
It says, any evidence that you draw on any outside source, you must be sure to document using templates. Why they have the key terms? Why discourse notes? Why not?
Okay, do you all have a question? I heard a couple of questions that seemed really good to ask.
We came up with two.
Okay.
So what would the discourse badge be? And then what was the purpose of the key terms?
Okay, so the discourse badge is outlined in the learning contract, and then that's where the instructor, me in this case, would say, refer back to the learning contract. And if I didn't have that outlined, then I would need to definitely outline that. But the badges, every module will be earning a badge. You earn a badge for the module if you do 2 rhetorical reading notes, 2 summaries, the project, and meet with somebody in the Writing Center. Those are the things that you have to do in order to earn the badge. So this is one of the things, but that's not the only assessment. And I kind of did this on purpose to see if you could kind of figure this out. That's not the only way you're assessed. What is the other way that this writing is being assessed? Yes, you have to do it, but where's a key word on here that's another word for assessment? It's a bold one. Rubrics. So there is a video online that was in the introductory module that talked about rubrics and how rubrics are used in the course. A rubric and our rubrics scale from is not evident for all the way up to through craftsman to professional writer to expert writer. And those rubrics outline what it takes in order to achieve up to expert level in these areas. And we have a number of rubrics. They are in both your UNF Guide to Writing and in your Heavy Meta book. They're at the beginning. They're also linked on the Getting Started page or the home page, of course, course welcome page of our online sites. And those rubrics are thesis. There's one for thesis. How can you move up to expert in thesis writing? One for coherence, evidence, mechanics, and plain style. So these rubrics are used to analyze Project 1. And that's how you're assessed as far as telling you where your writing stands. And then your other question were, why the key terms? These are the key terms that are important to use and to think about in this paper. They will be drawn from the readings, CRESS and G. When we're talking about multimodal discourse analysis, we talk about discourse analysis, multimodality, what it means to be multimodal discourse community, and to what it means to be a rhetoric or have rhetoric. And those are just important terms that we are learning in this module. So I outline those because you might decide that those are key terms to use within the paper in order to demonstrate your understanding of the topic. And then the group back here, you had.
I had the same question about the key terms.
Okay. Did you have any other questions? I think you asked about assessment, but they asked that one too.
So the learning goals would be the objectives.
The objectives here, yes. The learning objectives. Now, question. If one of these things, especially formatting guidelines, were not on the assignment sheet, how would you ask your teacher? Would you go in person, send an email? Would you ask a peer, ask in class? What do you think the right?
Well, I would go in person on it just because that's me, and an email, you can't really reciprocate what you want to understand. So an email is not going to help me understand, and I might have questions too in depth to really email you. So I would go in person, but I'd probably ask a peer first before and then go in person.
Okay, so you can ask your peers. Let's say the situation is formatting guidelines. If you go in person, and let's say that you are in the humanities, your major is English or something else, and you've been using MLA forever, but now you are taking a class in psychology, and you know that APA is used in psychology. Going to the instructor means that you can sit down thinking that maybe this is a different format style. Sit down with the instructor and say, you didn't outline on the assignment sheet what the formatting style is. I know that this class is mostly for majors, but I'm a non-major. Could you explain to me which formatting style we use? And the instructor should understand that. And if you're in their office, they could then point you to, and hopefully would, point you to the tools where you can learn about APA. So APA, you can find it on the Purdue OWL, but there are also APA guidebooks, and your instructor might have one of those and might be able to at least point out, open that up, and point out here are some actual examples of what you would do, because it's different. MLA, you put last name, page number. In APA, you put last name, comma, year. And it's nice to see what that looks like. So if you go in person, you can actually see that. I mean, you could also email the instructor if you know, if you say, okay, I know what APA and MLA are, I just need to know which one to use. So that would be a quick email. But it's really important to kind of think forward. Am I going to have additional questions? Maybe I should ask that in person. And not be afraid to push back. I think a lot of times we're given something from an instructor, and this is our contract. I already told you that it's kind of this contract, you're supposed to do this. And then we think that the instructor has given us everything we need, and that if we ask a question, that maybe the instructor is going to look badly on us, or it's something that we should know, and so I'm not going to ask. I'll tell you, as an instructor, sometimes we get busy. Things go by really fast. And at 4 a.m., we remembered that we needed an assignment sheet because we were going to assign something that day. So at 4 a.m., half asleep with a cup of coffee, I mean, instructors are human, they wrote this quick assignment sheet and then brought it to class and handed it out. And they left out something totally obvious, but nobody asked the question. And when the instructor finally realizes, why is everybody getting this wrong in this assignment? And they're reading it, and then they find out that it wasn't on the assignment sheet, but then they come back to class and they say, why didn't anybody ask me? Why didn't you ask me? It was a mistake on my part. And then if somebody had asked, then we could have all been on the right page. So don't be afraid to ask. That is the big purpose of this workshop, is to say, here are the things that we should expect. This is what we should expect to see. And if an assignment sheet falls short, to not be afraid to ask those questions. Any questions or comments? Awesome. Thank you for attending. This was the first workshop that we offered besides the pilot one in class yesterday. So thank you so much for joining us. And if anybody stays around, we have one at 1 on our 12 reading notes. Thanks.